Hello dear friends. In this video, we are going to discuss the question answers of the chapter Robinson Crusoe. Let's look at the first question. Who was Daniel Defoe? Daniel Defoe was an English writer who was born in 1660. He is most famous for his novel Robinson Crusoe, which is considered to be the first great English novel. Now let's look at the second question. What happened about 2 weeks after Robinson Crusoe started his voyage? After about 12 days of starting on the voyage, Robinson's ship had to face a violent tornado which came from the north. Due to that tornado, the ship was damaged and began to leak. So Robinson Crusoe and the other sailors changed course and drove out of the hurricane. But soon they were attacked by a second terrible storm, due to which Robinson Crusoe had to finally abandon the ship. Now let's answer the third question. What did Robinson Crusoe do when he woke up? When Robinson Crusoe woke up in the morning after reaching the island, he looked across the sea and saw his ship a quarter of a mile away from the shore. Then he came down from the tree on which he had been sleeping and looked for a stream from where he drank some cold, fresh water. He was so tired that he lay down and slept again. When he woke up again, it was already afternoon, but he made up his mind and swam to his ship to try to bring back some things from there which would be useful for him on the island. He succeeded in doing so and made many such trips to the ship in the coming days. The third question is, what did Robinson Crusoe take from the ship? In your view, which items would have proved most useful? On his first trip to the ship, Robinson Crusoe managed to cut down some masts and ropes and made himself a small raft. Using the raft, he managed to get many useful things from the ship to the island. On his first trip, he filled some seamen's boxes with stores of bread, rice, cheese, and some wine. He also got some clothes, 2 guns, a pair of pistols, and some powder and shot. Out of these things, food must have proved most useful to him initially because he was all alone on that island and must have been very hungry. Later, he made many such trips to the ship and brought more stores from the ship. He brought tools, wood, rope, nails, clothes, guns, ammunition, sugar, flour, and bread. He even found a box filled with gold and silver coins on the ship, which did not seem useful to him at that point of time. Now let's look at the next question. How did Robinson Crusoe discover he lived on an island? On his second day after being shipwrecked, Robinson Crusoe took a walk along the shore and went up a little hill. From there he could see that he was on an island. The next question is, what are some of the tasks Robinson Crusoe did on the island? During his first few months on the island, Robinson Crusoe kept himself busy by making a house for himself. He used one of the sails that he had brought from his sinking ship to make the roof of the house. He cut down tree trunks, carried them to the house, and slowly built a strong stockade, that is, fence, round the house to keep out the wild animals. After a year or 2 on the island, he started constructing a small boat for himself. He chose the wood for the boat carefully and cut and perfected it for many months. He made the sail for the boat from some of the canvas he had brought on the shore from his sinking ship. When the boat was ready, it sailed well whenever there was a good wind blowing. On the island, He also learnt how to make pots out of mud and how to make them hard and durable by burning them. He even started farming and grew some corn, rice, and wheat on the island. The next question is, what are some of the things he found on the island? On the island, Robinson Crusoe built a good house for himself with a strong stockade round it. He explored the entire island and found a valley on the other side of the island from where he collected some wild grapes and limes for himself. He also found some wild goats at a little distance from his house. He adopted a baby goat from there and domesticated it. The little goat was later always found next to him. After a year or two on the island, he constructed a small boat for himself, which sailed well when a good wind was blowing. He even learnt on his own how to make pots out of mud and how to make them hard and durable by burning them. Moreover, he started farming and grew some corn, rice, and wheat on the island. He also taught himself how to make bread. In the next question, we are asked, what do you think happened to the others in the boat? In the storm, Robinson Crusoe had started rowing towards the island in a small boat with 3 other sailors. Due to the violent storm, their boat had capsized and sunk. Out of the 4 of them, only Robinson Crusoe reached the island, that too by swimming in the rough sea for hours. This indicates that after their boat had capsized, which means turned upside down, the 3 other sailors had drowned in the sea, leaving Robinson Crusoe as the only survivor from that ship. Let's take a look at another important question. Why did Robinson Crusoe not want the gold coins? Do you think they would have come in useful? Robinson Crusoe had reached an island after being shipwrecked. He was the only human being living on that island. The only other living beings on that island were wild beasts. That island was far away from any other inhabited land, and Robinson Crusoe didn't have any means of leaving that island. Hence, he could neither use those gold and silver coins to lead a luxurious life, nor exhibit his treasure to anyone. Thus, the gold and silver coins were of no use to him at that time. The gold and silver coins could have proved useful to him only if he somehow returned to habitation or met up with sailors who somehow reached that island. Now let's attempt a reference to context. I lay down and slept again. The sun was high in the sky when I woke up. When and where had Robinson Crusoe slept before? Robinson Crusoe had reached an island while trying to escape the terrible sea storm. On his first night there, he had slept between 2 great branches of a tree. Where was he asleep now? He was asleep next to a stream from where he had drunk fresh and cool water that morning. What did he decide to do on waking up? On waking up, he decided to swim to his sinking ship in order to bring some stores from there that would prove useful to him on the island. Let's attempt another reference. The next morning, I walked along the shore and up on a little hill. What had he done the previous morning? The previous morning, Robinson Crusoe had swum to his sinking ship, which was a quarter of a mile from the shore. There he had made a raft for himself and brought back some stores from that ship to his island. What important fact did Crusoe discover when he got to the top of the hill? On reaching the top of the hill, Robinson Crusoe discovered that he was on an uninhabited island. So he was the only human being living on that island with no means of leaving it. What did he feel when he found out this fact? At that point of time, he felt like a prisoner on that island without a friend in the world. So these were the textual questions from the chapter Robinson Crusoe. If you wish to watch the videos with the English or Hindi explanation of the chapter Robinson Crusoe, please follow the links given below in the description. Please do like our video and subscribe to our channel.